Hello and welcome to Herbal Expeditions. As we dive deep into the world of herbs and aromatherapy, our host certified aromatherapist Ms. Shunda Bertrand, she is passionate about sharing her knowledge and expertise with herbal enthusiasts like you. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, we'll guide you through the process of planting, growing, and preparing your own herbs. And when it comes to aromatherapy, Shunda will help you discover the incredible benefits of using essential oils for your mind, body, and soul. So tune in and let's embark on this herbal adventure together.
Good evening and welcome to Herbal Expeditions, where we explore all things gardening, herbs, and aromatherapy. I am so excited that you all chose to join me tonight. Please, by all means, should you feel free to comment in the comment area if you have a question or if you just like to leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. As always, I'd like to give a huge thank you to our sponsors, Word on the Streets. I am so happy they allow us this opportunity for me to come and share this information with you. Tonight, our topic is going to be herbal wisdom, infusions for health. And so we're going to be looking a little bit deeper into tisanes or teas, herbal teas tonight. And from the top, I'd like to say, sometimes you'll hear me use the word decoction and sometimes you'll hear me use the word infusion. And infusion is basically when you steep your herbs in hot water. And a decoction is when you actually boil your herbs. And usually if you have something like juniper berries or bark or root, those materials are much tougher and it takes a little bit more to extract. So then you would boil them as opposed to just steeping them in hot water. But before we jump into tonight's subject, I'd like to give my disclaimer. I am not a licensed healthcare professional. Information you receive here are for educational purposes only, based on my personal experience and training. On this channel, we do not treat, cure, or diagnose. You are strongly encouraged to do your own research on the topics discussed here. As always, you're advised to discuss any new herbal regimen with your doctor, especially if you are pregnant, nursing, or taking any prescription medication. I have a nice little quote for you today, and I'd like for you to kind of think about this. The magic of an infusion lies in its patience. The power of an extraction lies in its focus. And so when we talk about it, infusions do take quite a bit of patience, because when you're using herbs or tea for a medicinal purpose, you're going to let it infuse a little bit longer than when you're just casually having a cup of tea that you're just drinking for pleasure. Usually, if you're doing an infusion and you're wanting to have some benefits from the properties in the herbs, then you're going to let it steep a minimum of 20 minutes at least. And as it steeps longer, then more of the properties are extracted. But then as it steeps, it goes from being like just an infusion to being an extraction where you've taken all of the properties from. And so the quote says, the power of an extraction lies in its focus. And depending on which herbs you blend together, you have specific focuses. Tonight, a little bit later in the show, I will be sharing with you an infusion that is primarily focused on your respiratory system. But we'll get into that as we move through the show tonight. So an herbal fun fact: when herbs steep in water, a process called extraction occurs, allowing the beneficial compounds in the herbs to infuse into the water. This turns the water into a healing agent by transferring the active constituents of the herbs into a form that the body can easily absorb. Here's what happens in more detail. And so tonight, primarily, we're going to talk about what happens when these herbs are infused or allowed to steep in water and create an infusion. The first thing that we'll talk about is the release of phytochemicals. Herbs contain a variety of phytochemicals, meaning plant compounds, such as antioxidants, volatile oils, flavonoids, alkaloids, and tannins. When herbs are steeped in hot water, the heat helps to release these compounds from the plant's cellular structure, dissolving them into the water. Different herbs contain different phytochemicals, each with specific health benefits. For example, Antioxidants or herbs that are high in antioxidants protect the body from oxidative stress. Volatile oils, such as those in peppermint and eucalyptus, have antimicrobial, decongestant, and anti-inflammatory properties. Alkaloids can soothe the digestive system to provide pain relief. The next thing that it does is the extraction of essential nutrients. We have essential nutrients that our body needs. And so herbs are also rich in vitamins, minerals, and other essential nutrients. When steeped in water, these nutrients dissolve and become bioavailable, allowing the body to easily absorb them. Herbal teas often provide small amounts of important vitamins like vitamin C from rose hips or iron from nettle, which support immune function and overall health. And when you're using an infusion, it's really important to realize that this makes it very easy for your body to absorb when it is in that liquid form. The next thing that happens is the breakdown of cell walls. Just like we have cells in our body, our plants have cell walls. The hot water helps to break down the cell walls of the plant material. This allows the water to access the beneficial compounds that are stored within the plant cells. Steeping helps extract not just water-soluble compounds, but also the volatile oils and other substances that may have healing properties. You notice that whenever you see me make tea in my videos, I'll always cover the vessel or the cup that contains the tea. And the reason that I do that is the volatile oils that are in there. The volatile oils are basically the essential oils. When they're still in the plant material, they're called volatile oils. And we don't want those to escape because they are very beneficial for your body, and that is a part of the healing property. Another thing that happens with an infusion is the concentration of healing properties. As the herbs steep, the water concentrates the healing properties of the herbs. The longer the steeping process, depending on the herb, the more concentrated and potent the infusion becomes. For example, longer steeping times are often required for tougher roots and barks to release their medicinal compounds, while leaves and flowers usually need shorter times. That goes back to what I was talking about earlier, the differences between decocting and infusing. When you have those hard things like dried berries, barks, roots, those types of things, it is tougher and it does take more time. Quite honestly, whenever I do a decoction and I boil those herbs, if I have the time, I like to allow those things to steep overnight or for about 8 hours if I'm really looking for a big punch as far as the healing compounds are concerned. The other thing is a synergistic effect. When multiple herbs are steeped together, the combination of different active compounds can create synergistic effects, enhancing the overall healing potential. This is why herbal blends can be more effective than single herbs, as the interaction between different plants can amplify their individual benefits. So the sum of the herbs is greater than the individual. Easily absorbed. Once the healing compounds are released into the water, the resultant herbal infusion becomes an easily digestible form that can be quickly absorbed by the body. This allows for faster therapeutic action, whether it's soothing a throat, calming the digestive system, or reducing inflammation. And these are just a few of the properties that you can, or remedies that you can make when you're infusing herbs into water. Those are just some of the issues that can be addressed in the body. And lastly, hydration and relaxation. In addition to the active ingredients, simply drinking warm herbal tea supports overall health by hydrating the body and promoting relaxation. Hydration itself plays a key role in the bodily functions, and the warmth can help soothe nerves, muscles, and stress, further enhancing the healing effects of the herbs. In summary, steeping herbs in water extracts their medicinal compounds, turning the water into a therapeutic agent that can help support various aspects of health, from immunity and digestion to relaxation and respiratory functions. Tonight, I'm going to share a recipe with you that will basically be something that is beneficial for your respiratory system as well as your immune system. As you know, our respiratory system basically helps us with our breathing, and our immune system is kind of what helps to keep our bodies well. Inside this recipe, I have 3 parts of eucalyptus leaves, 3 parts fennel seeds, 3 parts ginger root, 3 parts peppermint, 1 part elecampane root, 1 part clove, and a quarter part of licorice root. And when you're making a tea and you see a recipe like this, when you see the word part, that could be any measurement that you choose. So when I say 3 parts, it could be 3 teaspoons, it could be 3 tablespoons. If I want to make a larger size, it could be 3 cups. It's just that you make sure that the parts are equal. So if it's 3 parts eucalyptus leaf and 1 part elecampane, and I'm using a cup, I would use 3 cups of eucalyptus. But then when I got to the elecampane, it says 1 part, I would use 1 part of the elecampane root. So it requires you to do a little bit of math when you're determining. And how much you make just depends on how much tea you want. If you want a big batch, you're going to be sharing it with a lot of people, then you may choose a larger measuring component like a cup. If you just want maybe a couple of days worth, you might use a tablespoon. It just depends on how much tea you want to make and how long you want to be able to use that extraction. So once you combine these together, you would mix or blend your herbs to make sure that they're well distributed. And then you would go ahead and boil your water. And usually with this particular recipe, 1.5 cups of hot water over 1 tablespoon of tea, and steep for a minimum. I said a minimum of 15, but I would really say 20 minutes. And so what I would do is mix this all together. I would take a tablespoon of the herb blend and put it in my mason jar typically. Pour 1.5 cups of hot water over that, cover it with the little flat lid that goes to the top of the mason jar. Let it infuse as long as I possibly can. And then I'd strain those herbs off. And then I have my infusion. My infusion is ready to drink at this point. So the eucalyptus leaf is known for its ability to support the respiratory system. Eucalyptus helps to clear airways, reduce congestion, and soothe irritated sinuses. It's an anti-inflammatory and has antimicrobial properties, which make it a popular choice for cold and flu remedies. The second ingredient that I spoke about was fennel seeds, and it was 3 parts fennel seeds. Fennel seeds are rich in antioxidants and fiber, which aid in digestion and can help relieve bloating and indigestion. They also contain compounds that promote lung health and reduce inflammation in the respiratory system. So you see, now we're talking about a synergistic effect. I'm not just getting the benefits of the eucalyptus, but then I'm layering it with the fennel seeds. The next ingredient was 3 parts ginger. Ginger is a powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. It boosts your immunity, soothes nausea, supports digestion, and helps combat respiratory infections. Ginger also aids in circulation and relieves muscle soreness. So here you see me layering the different properties. So the eucalyptus, the fennel, and the ginger all are anti-inflammatory, but then I pick up some antioxidant properties with the ginger. Ginger is also supportive of the stomach. So if you have respiratory infection or a respiratory condition and you're coughing a lot, the coughing may upset your stomach because you're upsetting your digestive system by the constant coughing. So I'm layering those digestive properties with the fennel seeds and the ginger. The third ingredient was peppermint. And peppermint is one of my favorite things to add to tea. In fact, if it's something that's not the greatest of taste, usually I can add some peppermint or some hibiscus and I can get it down. But peppermint is widely known for its digestive benefits, easing symptoms of indigestion, bloating, and gas. It also has cooling and decongesting properties, making it effective for soothing respiratory discomfort and opening airways. So there again, that peppermint along with the eucalyptus, both of those are very strong when it comes to your respiratory. And then peppermint also underscores the digestive things. So you see where this is beneficial for both your immune system as well as your respiratory system as well as your immune system. Elecampane. This is not an herb that I've talked about very much, but it's 1 part elecampane. Elecampane is a traditional herb used for respiratory health. It acts as a natural expectorant, helping to clear mucus and ease symptoms of bronchitis, asthma, and coughs. It's also valued for its antibacterial and anti-inflammatory effects. So there again, it's underscoring some things that we've already talked about. Clove, 1 part. Cloves are high in antioxidants and contain compounds that support the immune system, reduce inflammation, and provide natural pain relief. So if you're having a bit of pain, having that clove in there is going to act as my mind just eluded me. It's going to help to reduce pain. And so that is important when you're not feeling all that great. Having that clove in there is beneficial for your body. And then licorice root. With the licorice root is just a 1/4 part of licorice root. So if we were using a cup for our measuring, then the 1/4 part would be 1/4 of a cup. Licorice root is a potent anti-inflammatory and soothing herb, often used for ability to coat and protect the throat and digestive tract. It also has antiviral properties and supports adrenal function, promoting overall wellness. So as you can see, the layering of the different properties in this particular tea would be very, very good for someone who has an upset stomach that may be accompanied by some respiratory issues. Or if your respiratory condition is causing your stomach to be upset, this would be very, very beneficial for someone. What do you think about this recipe? If you're out there listening, if you have a question, I'd love if you put it in the chat. If not, if you want to leave if you're watching the show at a later time and you'd like to leave a comment, I'd love to interact with you in regards to this. And also, if you have another recipe that you prefer using for respiratory condition, please leave me a comment or maybe share your recipe. I'd love to hear what you're using in your apothecary, in your house. I so appreciate you all tuning in with me tonight. Thank you so much for joining us here at Word on the Streets. We appreciate you tuning in. As always, if you found the content to be of value, or if you know someone who would enjoy or benefit from the information, please like, share, and subscribe. I look forward to spending time with you next week. Mark your calendars and plan to tune in. Good night.
Thank you for tuning in to Herbal Expeditions. Remember to set your clock for 7 p.m. Central Standard Time every Thursday.